Latest Arsenal injury news as Bukayo Saka timeline given after Mikel Merino update. Arsenal missed Bukayo Saka against Manchester City and have won just one of their 5 matches without him, while Mikel Merino has spent 3 months sidelined. Arsenal reportedly hope Bukayo Saka will return ahead of their Champions League semi-final first leg against Atletico Madrid. Saka, 24, has missed the Gunners' last 5 matches across all competitions since the Carabao Cup final with an Achilles injury. The issue ruled him out of their quarter-final tie with Sporting, but it is said there is hope the winger will be back for their trip to Madrid. There could even be a possibility that Saka rejoins the squad in time for Newcastle United's visit to the Emirates Stadium. That fixture falls 4 days before the first leg of the semi-final. The Independent reported on Tuesday that Arsenal hopes Saka will be back in the next week. After the recent returns of Martin Odegaard and Kai Havertz, the trio could finally play together again. If they do, it would be for the first time since the opening game of the season against Manchester United at Old Trafford. They came close at Stamford Bridge and the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg against Chelsea. Odegaard, however, came off before the introduction of Havertz from the bench. The 3 of them also all came on as substitutes on the final day of last season. However, the last time they started together was the 5-1 win over Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park in December 2024, which is now 16 months ago. Saka injured his hamstring in that match, and they have yet to be in the same starting lineup since. Alongside the positive reports about Arsenal's number 7, there is also reportedly progress for Mikel Merino. Spanish newspapers say the player will be running again in the next 2 to 3 weeks. He is already walking around the club's London Corney training ground without crutches. Photos from before the Manchester City match showed as much. They claim there could even be a chance Merino returns before the end of the season. Their focus, though, is on the World Cup, which they say the Spain international should be ready for barring any setbacks. Doctors are reportedly convinced he will be fit in time after inserting a screw in his heel. The player is said to share their view. The Spanish Football Federation, or FEF head of the medical services, is quoted as saying we will have a clearer picture on their fitness in the coming weeks. He is reportedly in constant contact with the players and optimistic about Merino. Faltering Arsenal aim to return to winning ways when they welcome Newcastle United to the Emirates Stadium for game week 34 of the Premier League on Saturday evening. The past couple of match days have seen Mikel Arteta's men suffer back-to-back league defeats for the first time this season, having followed their loss to Bournemouth with a 2-1 setback away to title rivals Manchester City on Sunday. Now second in the Premier League table, Arsenal relinquished top spot after the Citizens' victory over Burnley on Wednesday saw them climb to the summit. Sunday's encounter at the Etihad saw Noni Madueke feature, despite an earlier injury scare, while club captain Martin Odegaard returned after missing a couple of games, although the Gunners were still without several players due to fitness concerns. Here, Sports Mole rounds up Arsenal's latest injury and suspension news ahead of their Premier League clash with Newcastle, who come into this fixture on the back of a 2-1 defeat against Bournemouth. Bukayo Saka has not featured for the Gunners since their EFL Cup final defeat to Man City a month ago, with Arteta revealing that the winger has been managing an Achilles issue. Recent reports suggest Saka could return within the next week, although Saturday's meeting with Newcastle may come too soon for the 24-year-old. Sidelined since coming off against Everton in mid-March, Jurrien Timber appears close to recovering from his groin problem, and it would not be a surprise if the fullback is involved on Saturday. Ricardo Calafiori has missed Arsenal's last 3 matches, but Arteta's pre-match update ahead of the trip to Man City suggested the defender is nearing a return, meaning he could be in contention this weekend. Mikel Merino continues his recovery from surgery on a fractured foot, with the Spaniard aiming to return before the end of the season.